conversation tonight, man, is gonna be are we closer to war than what that ever anybody is talking about? Are we close? Are we closer down into the edge with everything what's going on around the world, man? Fighting everywhere and new wars starting up. I just don't think people are paying too much attention to what's really going on around us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I know a military man, a Marine. And I know you keep up with that kind of stuff, Danny. So man, if you can, man, what's your thought about that, Danny? Where do you think we at with right now?
So the biggest thing is the threat that's been looming. I mean, we got other wars that's going on, but one of the biggest threats that's been looming is China.
China.
So yeah, they've amassed their navy to be big enough, or if not bigger than our navy. So the question is, you know, my thought is, and I've been watching things, and I don't see them pushing forward with, the threats that they made years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how much further those threats gone, and I don't know in regards to what the military knows anymore because I'm retired, so I really don't know. I know, I know as much as I'm allowed to know, but
Right.
I'm not in meetings anymore. I'm not in all that kind of stuff, so no debriefings, none of that.
Right.
But that's something I couldn't say in public. Let me just throw that out there. So
Exactly.
just in case anybody asks me, I can't really say
Right.
things I know. But in my opinion, that's a threat that's a very important threat. And what I think a lot of people that are doing now is like they're paying attention to a lot of small things like, the mentioning and what's hit the news lately about Korea
Mm-hmm.
and what's going on there. And it's like, is North Korea versus South Korea. That's nothing to me, that's not important. North Korea and South Korea have been beefing for a long time. And they beefing with themselves. They ain't worrying about bringing anybody in, because, North Korea and South Korea, they're about the same size. It's a civil war, and sooner or later they're gonna just like when Germany was split, and when another country was split. I can't think of the other country right now, but when they were split, they even the United States, when we had the Confederates and the Union,
Mm-hmm.
it's like the war might happen, it might not happen, but then that's something internal they need to worry about. That doesn't need to be in public news.
Right.
We got to worry about that, but then at the same time, we got to worry about what's going on in the United States within itself. So is war looming? Definitely, it's looming. How much will it happen? As we've seen over the years, wars have gotten quicker.
Right.
Even though they've lasted long times. I mean, we ain't reached Iraqi freedom lasted pretty long. It almost reached the length of time of World War II, but not really. It didn't reach the death toll or anything like that. And it wasn't so much of the world in being involved in it, in Iraqi freedom. And before that, Desert Storm, that was pretty quick. So what's going on in Ukraine, and with Trump being in office, and what he's going to do. I mean, it's looming, but unless China makes their move, I don't see a big war.
Right.
I see.
I refer to you on issues when it comes to this because I know you was in the military, and Marines and stuff. But I am a staunch history, keep up with the news and what's going on around the world. I don't just look at Nashville news, And my ex girlfriend used to get mad at me all the time. That's all I would watch is them news, sometimes. But I don't even look at. I'm looking at what's going on with, well, like you said, in Ukraine, and I think that when North Korea came into the equation in Ukraine, I think that changed a lot of things because it triggered Biden giving Ukraine permission to launch long-range missiles into Russia, for number one. And you see how he responded with that ICBM, whatever. It wasn't nuclear tipped, but it was something that hadn't been used before in that, in that conflict, escalating the conflict. And then, Danny, man, I used to try to tell people that if I was you, just from what I'm observing everything now, as far as, I don't know if you have heard about this one, I'm pretty sure you have, but but as you know, like our internet banking systems and stuff like that, mostly run operates from those under the ocean cables, right? Well, I know, like I said, I don't know if you heard or not, but like a week and 2 weeks ago, maybe, did you hear about the those some of the over in Europe, those cables getting cut?
Yeah.
Okay, you heard about that, right? I think that's a sign, Danny. I hope and pray to God it's not. But what I'm trying to tell people, around me, people I love and everything. If I was you guys, I would start keep like me, Danny. Start keeping more cash on you. You understand? Like I used to try to tell my friend, you don't have to tell nobody. Get one person that you trust, like your son or whatever. That's the only person who need to know your money. But I'm telling you, Danny, I just think, man, people need to wake up and start paying attention to what's going on. Start thinking about this, man. Keeping more money on you. Because the first thing is, if something do break out, Danny, the first thing gonna get messed up is the banks. One of the first things, anyway. And then what we know again about money, Danny? If a situation like that comes and it's a run on the bank, what the government gonna do, Danny? Shut the banks down.
They shut everything down.
They're gonna shut the banks down because they don't want to run on the banks like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why, man, I encourage people, our viewers, to think about what I'm saying and start putting you some cash money back somewhere. Now I ain't saying this to try to scare nobody or nothing like that, because it scares me to look at the stuff what's going on. You know what I'm saying, Danny? And man, what's crazy, Danny? Now this don't got nothing to do with nothing or whatever, but I'm gonna tell you about a dream. That I've had this dream off and on, Danny, since I was maybe 45, right? Every 3 months, I would have this same dream. And the dream, it was so real, Dan. I used to wake up, man, looking out windows and stuff. And the dream was, I'm looking out getting up and everything, and all I'm seeing is army dudes in parachutes dropping, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jumping out of airplanes everywhere. And then I dreamed that the Air Force, our Air Force, whoever else's Air Force, is just battling over the air, planes getting shot out. Scary stuff, man. You know what I mean? That's not to say let a dream dictate what's going to happen, something like that, because I pray to God nothing like that happens. But, man, and then I don't know how you feel about religion. We never talked about that, man. But for me, this takes me, man, to Revelations, Danny. The scariest book in the Bible, dude. And I'm telling you, Danny, man, everything that Revelation is talking about is happening, Danny. It's happening right now in our lifetime. If you think I'm lying, our viewers out there, if y'all think I'm lying, go read Revelations. It'll scare you, because what's in Revelations is talking about, and it's so crazy. It's talking about the wars and rumors of war and all that kind of stuff. A time when a dictator would Danny. The stuff is scary, man. But I mean. So
I want to touch on that.
Okay.
And I mean, I know. Probably this will be. I'm gonna just quickly touch on it, because this will be something. This is a good topic we can get into.
Okay.
And it's something I learned, in dealing with religion, traveling outside the world, and I took a couple of classes and studying theology. But one of the big things I learned, and this is the reason why I don't get that fearful with Revelations. I mean, it's telling the truth, but at the same time, Revelations have been happening since Jesus died.
Right.
Actually, Revelation was happening before Jesus died. So before Jesus walked, he did his walk, Revelation was happening. So at the same time, when it's like the rumors of wars, there has never been a time, you know, since the sons of Abraham started the wars. There's never been a time since then that there has not been rumors of wars. Mm-hmm. Never been a time. You will never have a world. We have not reached to that level of world peace to have that. So the rumors of wars always been happening. Mm-hmm. Wars have always been happening. So we've been doing this, and it's the one thing that is, it's like I've held on to my faith in regards to Revelation. The dictators. There's been dictators, constantly. When there's one dictator going down, there's another dictator coming up.
Right.
And now, we're feeling it at home because we've watched it, many years. There was Hitler, Stalin, then you got, fast forward, before the end, before Hitler, there was, what was the man in China, the Mongolian, him. So you got these dictators, and over time, so you got to remember, a lot of people were knowing about that, and they're talking about it. When you look back at Revelations, it's telling this prediction. So it's like, oh, it's going. But you had this time of him, then you got this time of Hitler, then you got Kim Jong-un. Now you got Trump. All right, so now it's hitting home for us, and it's like, woo, this is getting even more scary. And it's like, yes, I don't tell anybody, don't roll and just take it with a grain of salt. Let it run through your system. Let it be in your system, but at the same time, understand the history behind it.
Right.
So yeah, there's been rumors of wars. The pestilence, the vermin that's been going around. They've been different parts of the country, different parts of the world, at different times. So it's like that stuff is going. So the timeline of Revelation, we don't really have it. We don't know. And truth of the matter, it's like, yeah, has the trumpet sounded? I don't know. Maybe some of them. We don't know because it's not going to be, 7 days of the trumpets? Mm-hmm. It ain't going. We're not talking about 7 days as like our 7 days. These trumpets, 7 days could be 700 years.
Right.
It could be that. So we don't know that timeline, and that's where it's like, hold on to your faith. And that's, right. Again, I want to preface that real quick. Right. Just hold on to your faith in regards to that.
Yeah.
But another thing, when you look at it, and it's like with your dream. With your dream, I've seen that dream too, but I've also seen it in the movies. I've seen a couple of movies where they're doing the exact same thing. The Red Dawn, the latest Red Dawn, not the old Red Dawn, the latest one. Yeah. That tells you, that's kind of giving you a hint of what China might do, because China's the one that's threatened that. And that was the whole reason why they rewrote that movie, saying that China's threatening it. You got that. And I agree with you. You need to start putting money on hand. But at the same time, and this is the one thing that I've been doing, and I just learned it, and I'm happy to share it, but knowing where your investments are. Mm-hmm. Because, yes, paying attention, knowing when to pull your investments and hold them and watch it crash, and then at the opening of the crash, knowing where to put them. So, and this is the one thing that's like, I share this with my brothers, and it's like, I'm not a salesman, but I'm learning this. Like, I'm learning day trading. I'm learning this stuff. And I'm not doing what, I get, because you mention it and you talk about it, Facebook is going to start throwing you ads and everything. And it's like, yeah, whatever. I'm paying attention to what I know, speaking with people that have made some money, learning, paying attention, slowly getting the hang of it, and I tell people all the time, and I laugh at it, and, maybe I should pull it out before I say it. But Bitcoin. I invested in Bitcoin, and I've only put in a total of $200, mm-hmm. and I've taken it out. When it jumped up one time, I took it out. Right now, it's up to 500, and I was like, I only had 100 in it. But
my thing is, Danny, I love your optimism now, and I hope you're right more than I'm right, because if I need you to be right. Maybe I'm overthinking, but that's what I do. I overthink, and sometimes. But it's something, Danny, man. Like, I don't care what nobody say. What's the name of this movie that Obama produced? You remember what I'm talking about? Have you seen it?
God. I haven't seen it, but I know what you're talking about.
what's the name of? I don't watch it like 5, 6, 7 times. I cannot think of the name of that movie to save my life. But I just find it. I find it beyond coincidental, man, that a damn president, an ex-president, would make that type of movie. I don't know if it's a warning within a warning. I don't know if it's, but it's odd that a president would make that kind of movie about war in the. You understand what I'm saying? Upcoming, and how the steps are going to be, how it's going to happen. The stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, and I was like, when I found out who produced that movie, I'm like, why in the hell would Obama produce a movie like that? But man, hey, it's just like I said, stuff to make you say, I hope, I hope, Danny. But then we're talking about, I know, dictators through time and everything. But what's so wild and so scary about it? None of those dictators in time had nuclear bombs.
Well,
we got a
the nuclear rate,
We got a madman with Kim Jong-un with nuclear weapons, man.
Well, the nuclear race started with the Nazis. That's where it started.
Yeah, we just beat them to the punch.
They were experimenting and they were seeing it. But yeah, we got stockpiles of them. But at the same time, this is the one thing that, as much as they have stockpiles. So one of the things that's going to happen, and even though the dictators know it, and this is where it's like, there's a reason that I'm the optimist. And I can't say you're the opposite of the optimist, but you're now, the revelation is coming to you, and it's like it's making you think, and it's like it's made me think. But the same revelation that you're having, I had a different one a long time ago, which led me to study, which led me to where I am. And there's a purpose, like since you started this platform and you brought me in, and it's just like And I'm with religion, I'm with God, and it's like God put this together,
right?
Because we need to talk about it,
right?
I can speak optimistically and where to go and what to do, because somebody else might get the idea and be like, "Oh, that's good, and it's like you're saying the same thing, and it's like, I never stop learning. Right. So it's like I'm listening to you and I'm taking it, and it's like I'm learning from it, but there's also things I need to think about with what you're saying, because I'm an optimist, but at the same time I'm like, I'm now doing something a little different,
right? Because
I'm like, ooh, I know where to go with this. I know where to go with that. Oh, I don't know about that. I need to go study that a little more.
Right.
So it's good we're doing that.
Right.
And it's needed. It's very much needed. So I enjoy just having the conversation.
Right. Me too, bro.
The second thing with keep saying Hitler, the dictators and the craziness. And we got we got more nukes in the world than we should. The downside is that once you launch a nuke, and this is where it's like these crazy people is like we're seeing where, hey, as crazy as you are, you still got humanity, because
right.
The moment you turn around and push that button to launch a nuke, the world is done.
Right.
One nuke goes up, other nukes are gonna go up.
Right.
At the same time, how many of those nukes, the moment you get ready to launch those nukes, because it takes a minute for them to fire up, and when they fire up, their satellite recognizing those nukes are going to be hit right before they leave your own country. So the biggest thing is like, how quickly can you make sure you pull those nukes off before there's missiles off your coast and missiles from other countries that are sitting back looking at you like, you gonna launch that? I bet not. We might got 2 that's gonna get away, but there's going to be a couple of them that's going to drop on your own country. They're going to be shot down.
Right.
So,
we can't afford one to get through.
No, we can't. We can't, because once one gets through, that means everybody's like, okay, hands are up. We might as well launch as many, and everybody got to run and hide, because it's going to destroy the world, which it is. We have enough to destroy. Well, we have enough to destroy where humans are on the world.
Right.
We got to go and hide in bunkers, leave the planet. Are we fixing to leave the planet anytime soon? I don't see it happening.
I don't see it happening, either, not for another 1,000 years.
Yeah, because the planet is going to reset itself.
Without us.
So, yep, it'll reset. and everything's going to repopulate, and we're going to have to go through it again. So it's like, yeah, you launch all those nukes, you get them out, and it's like, yeah, you fixing to destroy the human race. But there's going to be humans that are going to go into hiding long enough.
Right.
Generations going to come out later, and they're going to start everything back all over again. So it's like, you know, um, I mean, it's like the warning, like the warning that you're feeling and you're getting with your dream and everything. You know, I always, when people talk about that with me and different warnings they see, I was like, yeah, don't take it for granted. Think about Noah.
Right.
You know, Noah was warned about the flood 39 years before he launched. 39 years. Now think about being warned about something, and you're talking with your wife and your kids are talking with their friends, and I'm talking about this stuff is going on for 39 years.
Right.
Like you're getting this warning, and the flood doesn't happen until 39 years later. Yeah, you got a lot of people going, I don't know about you. You may be right.
Right.
But and then I'm pretty sure he challenged himself. It's like, man, I got this many years ago, and it's like 5 years later, I don't know. Well, I'm gonna keep building anyway because God told me. So
right.
The same thing with your dream, man. Hang on to it, because again, we don't know. But it's also a thing where it's like it's time to stop. We as a people, and I say this, as Black people all the time, we need to think, and that's the whole reason why I'm like I'm watching what's going to happen because I don't see nothing major hitting right now. I do see some damages to the market.
I didn't see when I started thinking heavily about that. It's because years ago was a discussion about what would happen if, like, Russia, because Russia had sent whatever them special ships they got with those cutters on the bottom of it for that purpose, to cut those underground, under the ocean cables, right? And like I said, that was a couple of years ago when I even heard about that. But when I seen it on the news that them cables was cut, I was like, it made my mind just automatically go back to the conversation about what that would mean, if them cables was cut, if they was cut in the right place, especially, right? Like what I said, we do all our banking, we do all our financial stuff, internets, all that kind of stuff. Then you're a military man. What's the first thing that you're trying to do? What's the most important thing in war? I guess communication. Is that it?
Yep.
If
communication.
Right.
So if you cut it, yeah, you're stopping a lot of people. Yeah. And even thinking about that with the banking, yeah. It's funny to me how they went and did it in Russia, and as close as they are to England, as close as they are to everything, they went down there and they decided to cut it. It's like, you cut that. One, Russia, you're poor. Russia is very poor still.
Yeah.
Even though they might be trying to get rich and everything like that. Number one, you're poor. Number two, you're cutting your own money. It's like, that ain't smart. That wasn't smart for Russia to do. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people will do something about that. And yeah, it's scary at the same time, but they're going to come back and they're going to fix it. One. Two, they're going to make it stronger. So it's like, you identify the weakness, they come in there and cut it, they come in there and do their thing. Okay, we have a weak point, we got to make it stronger. So they're going to make it stronger. So yeah, it's like, I knew about it, and I mean, I was just, I had my own mixed feelings on it, because I was just like, my whole thing was, why would Russia do that? Because they're cutting their own money line. Right. That's your money line that you're over there cutting. So that was dumb on you. But hey, we got people going in office, and they're, trying to take out the workforce, and over here in the United States, that's making half the money that the United States is using.
Right.
So we're about to cut that down, but then say it's going to be something good.
And then you got Trump. I'm pretty sure you'd have heard what he said about this stuff going on in the Middle East and Gaza and stuff. Talking about on January 20, on day one, if the rest of those hostages ain't released, it's going to be hell to pay. And this is the man who a big reason why they said they was voting for Trump, because he would keep us out of war, right? I saw a thing the other day where he had threatened the Mexican president with these tariffs, right? Well, the Mexican president struck back. If you're gonna put tariffs on what, we're gonna put some tariffs on you. And then I seen some comments online about some Trump supporters, like, talking so down and so bad about this woman, president of Mexico. Like, I think they actually think, Danny, that every other leader is going to actually bow down to Trump. They're not.
So no, they aren't.
Mm.
And the second thing, and this is where it's like, God, why would you do that? So we're over here talking about how is it that Trump, and this is my question because he's hitting Mexico and he's hitting Canada. So where are the major places that we're importing our wood? Mexico
And Canada.
So you're going to tariff them and hit them so hard. And we're already struggling to get people in homes in this country. So now you're fixing to cause the housing market to go right back up. And I'm talking about it's going to shoot up very high.
Dan, so what do we get most of these from, Danny?
Fruits. That's Mexico.
Mexico. Come on.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And it's like we're over here, we're more industrial. So all these tariffs that you're putting out there, it's like, yeah, y'all over here thinking that this is going to be some good. No, in about 2 years, I'm sorry. I mean, I'm glad I got a couple of homes that I'm fixing to turn around and sell, and I'm going to take advantage of that part of the market.
Right.
But then I got people out there, I got friends that I know, there's a lot of people that's like, you're going to end up going upside down in your houses. Right. Because you're going to need a loan to take care of something else because, the price of fruit's going to go up. So, it's going to balloon. And what's that going to hit? The health market. Right. So then while everybody, the health and fitness market. So while everybody's over here like, oh, it's good, we're going to do these tariffs and everything like that. But yeah, how healthy are you going to be?
Right.
Then you got obesity. You got other things that's going to happen after that where it's just like, come on, people, are y'all paying attention?
I don't think
we're killing ourselves in the world market. With him going back in office and doing that and saying that, yeah, you do that to Mexico. Mexico's like, okay, we're gonna hit you back. They'd already half the time Canada ain't saying nothing. They're like, oh, you gonna hit us like that?
Right.
Okay. Guess what? You gonna hit us 25%? All right, we'll just charge you 25% more on the wood that y'all ask us to bring in.
Right. Man, it's getting
what's that
crazy,
gonna do?
Man, it's getting crazy.
It's ridiculously crazy.
Last thought, Danny. Give me your thoughts real fast, man, on Joe Biden pardoning Hunter Biden.
So my thoughts on it is like I'm looking at it from two sides. So number one, he said he wasn't going to do it, and he was saying he wasn't going to do it for a long time because he's like, nope, the office of the presidency is not above the law. So his family and everything like that is not above the law.
Right.
Got it. Been saying that for years. Didn't do it. Held on to it for a long time. So I was glad he did it. And yeah, now that you just pardoned him, you just shoved your own foot in your mouth.
Right. We voted Democrat in this election, Danny. But, I consider myself as a straight up and down fair person, man. And all I say about that Hunter Biden situation is Biden, that's all you had to say in the first place. Instead of you going around promising not to pardon that man, that's your son. I always knew he was gonna pardon his own son.
Yep.
But now we look like hypocrites and fools, and that furthermore gives the Republicans, ammunition, because this is some of the same stuff that he accuses Trump on. Then you turn around and break your word on something like that.
At the same time,
if that was my son, now I would let y'all know off the rip. Well, President Marlo, are you gonna pardon your son? First chance I get.
Hell yeah.
I mean, I ain't gonna go down there telling you, no way, I'm not gonna do that. It's flies in everything what I believe in and this, that, and we doggone. As soon as Kamala Harris lost the election, I'm pardoning my son.
Well, I mean, I see when he did it because look at what's fixing to happen when he goes in office.
I get it.
It's like, hey, you know what? Trump is really fixing to come after Hunter and Joe.
I get it.
So
that right, man.
He's like, all right, well, if you're going to come, now I have no choice. Since you're going to come at us like this and you're fixing to try to pardon yourself and you got all the whole Republican side, taking over, the whole Republican Party taking over. okay, you threatened to come after us in different ways.
Right.
Now I'm going to have to pardon my son because you're about to try to get him for things that might not be there, and you're just trying to punish.
Right.
And if you get full power and to punish like that, that means you're going after former presidents. That means you're going after everybody that's against you. So it was like it was a double-edged sword that he had. He said for a long time he wasn't, but then at the same time, it's like, oh, wait a minute. Now that you're in office, you done already made the threats. What if you make good on those threats?
Right.
And so it's like, that's where it's like I'm looking at both sides and I'm having to think. And I'm having to think long and hard. I'm like, yeah, you said you wasn't going to do it. I agree. Shoved your foot in your mouth. But at the same time, as a father,
right,
when I know if, part of it is this going to be a fair trial?
Right.
And it's not.
It's not. Absolutely
and so it's
not.
like, at that point, I'm like, yeah.
I don't blame him for doing
maybe so.
it. I don't blame him for doing it.
I don't either.
I just the way you said, told the American people and everybody from, there's absolutely no way he's going to pardon him. It wouldn't have looked so bad if you just would have pardoned him instead of going around, and telling that lie, that blatant lie, and we can call it nothing but a lie, which it was.
Yeah.
So we gonna on this show, Danny, we call it like it is, man.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
No beating around the bush, even though we how much we think Trump is flawed. On right here, we're gonna tell you guys the truth of what we think, and we're not gonna say, well, Biden is right and this or this. We're gonna let you know our opinion. If it's our people who's wrong, we're gonna say our people was wrong. Okay, so that
for that.
That's what you're gonna get when you come here. So yeah, man. So Danny, man, Monday is going to be the big one, the live. First time we going live. So get ready, get it together. It's gonna be some. I think I gotta call Lamont. I think he's gonna join in on that. And I think so. Hope so anyway. And like I said, there's gonna be a couple of young ladies on there giving their part. So everybody, I'll be looking out for that Monday. We'll be back with another before next Monday, but that's when the live is going to start Monday. So, with that being said,
I should hopefully have a microphone by then.
Do you need me? Hey man, I got like 3. You want me to send you one?
Actually, when I come in town, I'm gonna come grab one from.
Okay, cool.
So
yeah,
I'll make that happen.
Okay,
when I come in town, I'll come grab one for you.
Okay, bet.
So I'm definitely gonna be there. You know what? I'm making sure I'm packing up. I'm leaving Thursday morning, so I'll be there. I'll be at home. And heck, if we're gonna do Thursday, I might be at your house doing Thursday.
Oh, what cool, so, man, cool.
If we're doing Thursday night,
you remember where I stay, right, Danny?
No.
Okay, I seen the address and everything when I was ready to come.
Okay, if you're in the same house you've been in for a long time, then yeah. But
I had moved into my place, and then my dad passed. Well, my mom passed first, then my dad passed, and my dad left us the house on Kings Lane. So, I just, why the hell, I came back over here. Hell, why the hell I'm going to pay some mortgage somewhere for when I don't have to?
Oh, okay. Well, then, yeah. So I know where you are then.
Right.
All right.
Right.
Yeah, it's not a problem. So, yeah, I'm going to make sure, because I've been packing, so I'm going to make sure I have enough stuff. And either by Wednesday night, I'll be done, or hopefully by tomorrow, I'll be done packing up and everything. So by Thursday, I'll be in town, drop half the stuff off, and then come there, and I'll be dropping the rest of the stuff off on Friday.
Okay, cool, man.
So yeah,
sounds good.
I'll be there.
Sounds good. We're gonna end it right here, y'all. Guys, please don't forget again to subscribe to the channel. We're gonna be bringing new content to you guys. Right. Everything's gonna get real interesting. Subscribe, like, notification bell. Y'all gonna be we really finna have some great things happening, especially going live. So with that being said, I appreciate me and Dan. Appreciate you guys.
All right.
Joining the show tonight. And Danny, I'll see you soon, man. Tell the wife I said, what's up, my man?